Hello? Hello? Does this work? Oh, hey, it works. Hello there, it's me, Max. You know, that dude that researches stuff. Today, I'm going over everyone's favorite walking donut, Giorno Giovanna from the Jojo's Bizarre Adventure franchise. So, you ever heard of Dio Brando, that vampire guy from England? Yeah, he's a bit of a power-hungry mongrel, and also prone to making a lot of irrational decisions. I wouldn't exactly call his decision to impregnate a woman irrational, but clearly he had a few screws loose. Then came Giorno Giovanna, who would rename himself as Giorno Giovanna since he did grow up an Italian. He grew up rather isolated as well, kept away from the outside world and ignored by his mother and the man that she married. Just so you know, that man was not Dio and was Giorno's stepfather. Giorno's life dramatically changed when he encountered a wounded man in the grass. Somehow Giorno had concealed the man by growing the grass around him. From then on, the same man would watch Giorno from the shadows, and everything started to become better. Giorno entered his teens as a street performer and serviceman, but in reality, this was all a front for his thieving activities. He's crafty and often steals money from the unwitting. This wouldn't be accomplished just by himself, as he does possess a very common but very special power: a stand. Stands are the physical manifestation of one's psychological energy and willpower, and Giorno's stand was developed when he was young. Remember how he made the grass grow? Yeah, that was thanks to his stand, Gold Experience. It's named after a Prince album, the Gold Experience. Fun fact, most stands after Part 3 Stardust Crusaders are named after famous names and songs in the music industry, such as Queen and Lady Gaga. Moving on, Gold Experience has the ability of Life Giver. With this power, Giorno can give life to any inanimate object, turning them into various biological items like plants or animals. Gold Experience is only limited by imagination, so Giorno can create virtually any biological item so long as he knows what exactly to create. It's quite handy then that Giorno has an encyclopedic knowledge of everything biology related. His creations have had various capabilities over the years. For example, he can create giant trees to either strike his opponents or to evade his enemies, can morph luggage into frogs, transform a lifesaver into a giant fish, and the list goes on and on and on. His creations may include whatever biological features they may have, such as natural poisons or an affinity for predation. This guy is basically the ultimate nature lover, minus being an annoying hippie that would hug trees. He can create whole organs and limbs as fresh substitutions for a damaged body part. It's a sort of pseudo-healing, as he can just replace the wounded limb with a fresh one that he had created. This healing method has saved many of Giorno's comrades from certain death on several occasions. And in an ironic twist, Giorno's Life Giver ability can indirectly harm his opponents. He does this by accelerating their bodily functions so that they react to external and internal forces such as pain and injuries more drastically. They only think like they feel more pain, when in reality they haven't been hit by anything stronger than just a simple punch or kick. It's psychological warfare, as Giorno can mess with his opponents by fooling them into thinking that he's become stronger from out of nowhere. Giorno can even give so much life to a biological object that it withers and dies. But it doesn't end there. A lot of Giorno's creations also have the ability to reflect damage right back to sender. This ensures that none of his creations are ever harmed, and all of the biological creations are 100% under Giorno's control. He has used this to his advantage by using his creations as motion trackers, and can even command his creations to come back to him. And like many humanoid type stands, Gold Experience can unleash waves of rapid fire punches within moments. Combined with its ability to forcefully give life to others, and 10 punches can suddenly feel like you've been uppercutted by Superman. And to make Gold Experience even more ridiculous, it was able to achieve its Requiem ability. Gold Experience Requiem is the all new form of Gold Experience after being stabbed by the mystical stand arrow. Requiem abilities tend to be situational, but honestly explaining them now would take up a lot of time, so I'll summarize as best as I can. Gold Experience Requiem reverts the causes of actions back to zero. You know how sometimes you'll be working on a document and you make a mistake, so you press the undo button? Think of GER's ability as the ultimate undo button. Virtually nothing can touch Giorno once GER is activated, as it can function as an ability that is always active. Sort of like those passive abilities from those MOBA games. What were they called? Defense of the Smite Storm? League of Paladins? I don't know, so moving on. What makes this so much better is that Gold Experience's standard abilities, like its Life Giver and physical capabilities, are given power enhancements. Okay, so basically, GER makes Gold Experience better in every single way possible. And even without his stand, Giorno is a clever thinker and a great on-the-fly strategist. With his mindset and his stands, Mr. Dunkin' Donuts has accomplished many a great feat. With his stand and with some help from other stand users, Giorno was able to outsmart and defeat many powerful opponents, such as the rogue squadron of mafia stand users known as La Squadra de Execution. I probably mispronounced that, so my bad. Giorno is a young man of serenity, especially during combat. He stopped a helicopter by turning Guido Mista's bullets into tree roots and was capable of morphing a lighter into a flower, a gun into a banana that still fired bullets somehow, and even turning blood into a swarm of ants. He's defeated stand users like Eluso, Chocolata, and Jasio, whom can command various stands with very lethal powers, such as an entire mirror world, spore manipulation, and cryomancy respectively. Gold Experience itself can keep up with other stands like Sticky Fingers, who can bullet time and can create entire pocket dimensions. Gold Experience was able to destroy near a dozen cars within seconds, and has the record of the longest barrage of punches, also known as a stand rush, in the history of Jojo. Over several manga pages long of flying fists, Giorno himself has survived being riddled by bullets, getting his limbs chopped off, and having his throat removed. He can keep up with stands that can catch up to speeding cars and even the infamous King Crimson. And I gotta say, its ability is quite the messy can of worms, which is why I'm going to start explaining it now. The way that King Crimson's ability works is, and that's why King Crimson is so powerful, and he's also super strong. And if you're not impressed by Giorno defeating an opponent as powerful as that, then you probably have too high of expectations. No offense. Despite this, Giorno has some serious weaknesses. Damage taken by stands are also applied to their respective stand users. Some stands have a limited movement range of around 2 to 3 meters, and Gold Experience is one of those stands. The Life Giver ability is rather limited by the physical size of what Giorno has on hand. For example, he can't create a shark out of a mere pebble or a giant plant out of a bottle. This was probably to make sure that Giorno wasn't overpowered. Can you imagine just creating a horde of safari animals from just a sandpit? That'd be freaking cool, but that's also really overpowered. Gold Experience also lacks in the physicality department. Sure, it's strong, however it is not as strong as other stands like Crazy Diamond or Star Platinum. Giorno's healing methods also have a drawback. Yes, he can create replacement organs and limbs, but he'll have to attach them the hard way. Think of it as manual surgery on the fly, and that by itself is extremely painful. Giorno himself is still human and can die to ordinary methods of death. Although with all of these faults, it's really hard to downplay Giorno Giovanna. Man had a dream, and much like Martin Luther King Jr., he fought tooth and nail to achieve it. And now for Giorno to fight tooth and nail against other characters, because clearly we are not entertained. Yet. First up is Joker from Persona 5. Ah yes, Persona versus Jojo. It never gets old. But unlike a typical protagonist fight based on the theme of oh it's because they're protagonists, Joker and Giorno do share some key similarities, such as both being outlaws trying to enforce justice on the criminal underworld. Dramatic irony at its finest. Secondly, and more intriguingly confusing, is Misogi Kumagawa from Medaka Box. Aside from being teenage heroes, Kumagawa and Giorno both have reality warping powers in the form of All Fiction and Gold Experience Requiem respectively. It's bound to leave someone confused, but at least it'll be a fight with, well, a lot of confusing powers being put into use, and if not for a Limit Break Showdown's got this matchup covered. Lastly, we have Josuke Higashikata from Part 4 Diamond is Unbreakable for a Chrono Break. These anime protagonists are stylish, flamboyant, and also prone to smashing your face in. Plus, Crazy Diamond and Gold Experience's differing powers of restoration can call for interesting battle tactics to be put into use. But that's all I have in mind. How about you guys? Comment down below what matchup you would like to see for Part 5's Donut Boy. Did I miss a cool opponent? Would you be interested in any of the matchups I mentioned? Let me know. I'd love to see your feedback. Until next time, peace out. Special thanks to our Patreon supporters, Percy Simmons, Homerman Fan, Stealth Zombie Snake, Adam, Creep Switch, and Master King Animation. Thank you from all of us here at FlatZone.